Right, what's up guys, welcome back to Mike Catches, and as you can see we're on a different location today. This is a massive reservoir. I can't say where it is, I'm not allowed on the permit, and as you can see I've got braces on, which is not a massive bonus because I'm living off beans and noodles at the moment, so yeah, that's all I can eat. So we've walked around the lake, we've spent about an hour and a half walking around the lake, trying to look for fish, looking for where they're coming up, and we've seen absolutely none, which is a bonus. Seen a couple of little bits just around the edges, and there's a lot of birds around the edges. So we're going to whack him. We're on peg, I can't see what peg we are, sorry about that. We're in the middle of the lake on the opposite side of the car park, and we're going to whack in probably about, I'd say about 70 yards out. I've got some distance sticks with me so I can clip up where we are, and I'm going to show you through the rig now, so let's get to it. Just before I show you the rigs, what I'm going to do is I've got one rod here with a lead on. I'm going to cast it out because I haven't fished a swim before, drag it across the bottom because I know there's a lot of dying weed at the bottom at the moment, try and find a clear spot. When I found that clear spot, I'm going to clip up, measure it out my distance stick, find another one for the other rod, get that clipped up, get the rigs on, PVA bags, whack them out, throw some bait out with my throwing stick, and then we should be good to fish. So let's get that done now, and fingers crossed we can catch a fish. Right guys, so I've had a couple of casts through the bottom, and it's a gravelly bottom, but there's a lot of dying weed. As you can see from my lead, from what I've pulled in, there's a lot of dying weed on the bottom. It's only a couple of inches tall, but that is enough to hide your bait. So what I think I'm going to do is, I've got my pop-ups with me. I've been iffing and ahhing between a wafter and a pop-up. So I've got krill wafters and I've got the signature sticky pop-ups. So I think I'm going to go with the pop-ups because they're a brighter colour, they've got a sweeter smell. And I'm thinking as a fish, they're going to be looking through the dying weed, aren't they? So, well, that's what I'm hoping. That pop-up's just going to stick out a bit more than the wafter, and hopefully they'll be able to see it. That's going to be paired up with a Ronnie 360 rig. And, yeah, I'm hoping that this weed, it just pops just above the weed, or even in the weed, and they're able to see, suck it up, get hooked, and we have a fish. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my rig on, so I'll see you then. Right, so the rig I'm going to be using. First off, the bait, I'm going to be using the sticky signature 12mm pop-ups. I'm using a pink and a yellow pop-up. I'm hoping that's going to stand out from the dial weed. Hopefully get us a fish. Then I'm pairing that up with a PVA bag. I've got 3 of these made up already. They've got 3 krill boilies in each one. Just going to attach them onto the hook and whack it out. And then let's stick these on the floor. And then for my actual rig, I'm going to be using a Ronnie 360 rig. This is the one with the pink pop-up on, 12mm pop-up, size 4 wide gape hook. I have checked this and it does hold it up. It's probably on the maximum for this little boilie. And then I've got that with a 6 or 7 inch stiff boom, I'm not too sure. But that's the rig I'm going with, so I'm going to whack the rods in now. I've clipped up at 20 wraps, so that's approximately 80 yards. And I can hit that quite comfortably with my 10-foot rods with a PVA bag on. So that's where I'm fishing. Let's get the rods in now. Fingers crossed we can have a fish. Right guys, I'm here because I've just had a run. My rods have been in about 20 minutes and I think it's my left hand rod just took off screaming. I've got the rig here, I don't know why it didn't hook. It took off and then stopped, waited a minute and it dropped back so the line was slack. So I reeled it in thinking, oh, there might be something still on the end, but there's not. So I'm going to get another PVA bag and whack it back out, but I mean that's a good sign, at least we've done something. And I'm back again within 30 seconds because the other rod just did the exact same thing. So I don't know whether to see behind me, but see if I can focus it. Yeah, almost. There's a few ducks behind me, so it could have been one of them. So I've got my PVA bags, just going to whack them back out now. Right guys, it's currently about 4 o'clock, and as you can see from behind me, it's already started going dark. I've been watching the water and we haven't seen any fish top whatsoever so far. There's a lot of ducks eating the weeds on the bottom, but no fish, so I'm wondering if the fish come out at night. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it an hour till it goes slightly dark here. I've got some PVA bags already made up in my bivvy. I'm going to put them on my rods, I'm going to recast my rods, throw a bit more bait out and check the pop-ups haven't sunk. I'm trusting that they're still afloat because they haven't let me down yet. So, I'm going to stick my tea on after that. I've got some sausage butties with me. Hopefully I can eat them due to my braces because I had them on a couple of days ago, so they are quite painful. But I managed to suck down half a chocolate bar, so it isn't too bad. So fingers crossed, hopefully we get a fish, and I'll be back with you when something interesting's going on. Guys, I'm currently sitting under my brolly because I've got my sausage butties here, which I'm going to attempt to eat with my braces on. Don't know how well this is going to go. Been watching the water and there's been no movement whatsoever. It's absolutely been silent. There's ducks everywhere. That's about all that we've seen so far. I've had a couple of knocks on my right hand row and one on my left. So there's a sign that there could be fish here because we have had knocks. Even though they're not on top, doesn't mean they're not on the bottom because it is about 14 foot. It's going a bit chilly now, but it's still quite warm. I think it's about 10 degrees, just got my coat on. Staying nice and warm. And yeah, I think I'm going to watch a film, then keep watching the water, throw a bit more bait in, because I've just baited up and cast my rods back in. And fingers crossed, we can have a fish. Right guys, it's currently about 11 o'clock, and with water, it has been absolutely silent so far tonight. I've had some tea, I managed to eat my sausage butties, took me about half an hour with these braces, so that was nice. I've had another pot of noodles, so at least I've had something to eat. Just been watching Only Fools and Horses, so yeah, I've got some more bait in. Gonna go sleep now. I'm hoping, it's about 11 o'clock now, I'm hoping to get up for 8, half 8, probably 9 o'clock, knowing me. And hopefully we can have a fish sometime in the night or early hours in the morning. We are staying until about, I'd say about 3 o'clock tomorrow, so I've got plenty of time for a fish so far. Be up, I've got PVA bags made up, I'll be up in the morning, changing my rods, throwing some bait in. That's all I can do, so fingers crossed, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Morning guys, it's currently about 10 o'clock. I've woke up a bit late tonight because I went to bed a bit later. So I've been watching the water this morning whilst I've been lying in bed for about half an hour. There's been absolutely nothing happening. I had a couple of bleeps in the night, but didn't have any takes or any fish, unfortunately. Think I'll have a cup of tea now. I've got some PVA bags and that made up. Recast my rods, throw some more bait in and get some breakfast on. So that's the plan. Let's get to it. Right guys, coming about 11 o'clock, as you've just seen, I've recasted my rods in, and I've changed the hook bait. I've gone from the Sticky Signature 12mm pop-ups, and I've swapped it to the Sticky Pineapple and Butt Trick pop-ups. They're 12mm as well, but these are neon yellow, so I'm thinking this will help the bait stick out from inside the dead reeds that are on the floor, because when I pulled it in, there was a little tiny bit of weed. It was like the really stringy stuff that sticks your hook. But I do know there is some dead weed there, probably a couple inches thick. So I'm hoping this will stand out a bit more. It's a pop-up, so it should theoretically sit on top of the weed or sit in it, but at least it's not buried underneath it. So I've been watching the water, and a cormorant flew down, picked up a carp, looked about £6. There was 3 or 4 of them flew in, they're all fighting over this carp, but I don't think they got it. And they were sitting around the area, just going under looking for more carp, so I have whacked one of my rods over to that general area, because there's definitely fish in there. I've seen them pull one out. Just got some noodles cooking now, which I'm going to eat in a minute. Just had a cup of tea. and that's all so far, so we're going to see how the rest of the day goes. Hey guys, so we've got the what's it called, dipper. Yeah, we've got the dipper, we've been casting it out, and you won't believe it, look at all the fish we've found there, probably 10 foot off where he's fishing. Did my spot, did down there, no fish whatsoever. Second we cast in there, look at all of them, that's where all the carp are sitting. That's ridiculous. So I think we're going to throw a rod in that side now, we're just marking it up. Right guys, unfortunately we have come to the end of the video. I've just had to go at casting whilst I'm packing up, see how far I can get. I got 28 wraps quite comfortably. Went for 30, took me a couple of tries, but I just about got it in the end. Bearing in mind, my rods are only 10 foot, I think 40 quid each, and you got 2 ounce plug lead on, I think it's called, or something. There's no distance lead or anything. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Unfortunately we've had no fish, it's been a bit of a bummer, but yeah, it's been a good session nonetheless. It's been good to get out on the bank. So as always, this is Matt Catches signing out, and I'll see you in the next video.